A little bit of holiday hijinks causes a group of children to enter the mysterious Carnovasch Estate of Strickfield, where they discover a haunting magical mirror that blurs the line between reality and reflection. Now the only question is, who will survive, and who is who they say they are?
What's that? You want to be scared? Come with me. You will experience tales of horror, ghosts, and death. It is not recommended for the weak at heart. Listen in the dark. It's more fun that way. This is Weekly Spooky.
Hello, my spookies. It's Friday, but it's the holiday season, and it's our 300th episode of Weekly Spooky. So, here's an extra special gift to celebrate. This is a very special novella, just for you die-hard fans and newcomers alike. A story featuring your favorite gang of Strickfield preteens, with Madeline Donnerly and her special spiritual friend Mary Worth at the forefront. But before we get to that, I want to say thank you so much. 300 episodes is truly mind-boggling. I'm so proud of the work we've done, the audience we've built, and the authors we've featured. It feels like just yesterday we were celebrating 200 episodes, and now we're at 300. Well, I guess when we hit 400, I'll have to do something truly terrifying. But I have a little while to think it up. So make sure you're subscribed whether you're new or you've listened for a long time. And please consider leaving us a star rating at Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And if you've been listening for a while and are considering becoming a backer on Patreon, now is the perfect time to join 100 other spookies by going to weeklyspooky.com/join. For as little as $1 a month, you get 2 bonus shows every month, audiobooks that are exclusive to Patreon, and so much more. Just go to weeklyspooky.com/join. We really do appreciate it. Now, as for our story, have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like something was looking back at you? Something that isn't you? Mirrors show us who we are, but what if they could show us something else? Something darker? Well, we're about to find out what happens when the mirror world collides with our world. Get comfortable for this novella-length episode we'll be presenting right after this. Mirror Images by Rob Fields. Monday, December 18th. Perspective, Richie Horton. Why does this always happen to me? Why does Buzz Hitziger feel he's always got to come after me for? I did ask him one day why he keeps giving me a hard time. "'Cause you exist," he belted out. Today must have been one of those days when he came to Strickfield Junior High hating the world. It didn't take him long to come right after me. I've been managing to avoid him throughout school. When you know your way around the building well enough, you know where you can lose Hitziger when he's looking for you. As soon as we were done with the school day, he was on his bike and chasing me down. The problem is, I'm on foot. I can only cut through so many yards before Hitziger's going to finally get me. Bill Chapman keeps telling me I ought to go out for track in the spring. He's probably right since I'm in great shape with all the running I have to do. "You stop right there, wimp!" Hitziger yells from across the street. "I'm gonna pulp you good when I get you." He's almost got me when I grab a trash can and pull it behind me. He's yelling some choice words when he tries stopping and slides onto his side. I'm putting more distance in between us. Hitziger's twice my size, around the midsection. He's still able to get up fast and get back on his bike. "You dead, Horton? You hear me? D-E-D!" he yells. I'm cutting through another yard and end up on Pleasant Valley Road. Unfortunately, it isn't long before Hitzigger finds me again. I'm pouring it on when I hear his heavy grunting. It's only going to be a few more seconds before he grabs me. I suddenly turn and run along the side of a brick wall to escape. He's yelling more choice words before he's got to stop. "You can't run from me forever, Horton!" Hitzigger yells. "You gotta take your fist beating sooner or later." And then I do stop running. But not because of Hitzigger. I stop because I'm looking right at the old Carnovasch Estate. I can't believe I really ran from Strickfield Junior High all the way out here. "You stop right there!" Hitzigger yells. I don't have a choice. I quickly grab the top of the wall and scale it. Then I jump and land on the other side. The next thing I know, Hitzigger's coming up over the wall himself, or trying to. When his feet slip down the wall, I take off again. Now I've got another problem. There's no way I can climb over the high, vine-covered fence. I run to the wall on the other side. As I'm ready to scale it, this big dog is right there and barking at me. When I get away from the wall, I see Hitzigger coming and start running again. I realize the only way I can possibly lose him is to do the unthinkable. I have to go inside the Carnovasch Estate. I remember being in there back when we all ended up in 1955 in a freak occurrence last Halloween, just after Chapman Chunker and I came back to the mortal realm. But looking at this old mansion now, you just know it's empty. Not to mention, scary. I make it to the back double doors and stay out of sight as Hitzigger runs right past me. When I reconsider running back to the wall I used to come in, one of the doors opens. I slip inside and close the door quietly. I'm safe in here, assuming Hitzigger didn't see me come in. I quietly lock the doors and move away slowly. "I know you're around here somewhere, Horton, you wimp!" I hear Hitzigger yell. "You either come and face me now, or I'll give you a double beating at school tomorrow." At least it's a little warmer inside this creepy house. I don't know how long I'll have to stick it out in here. Knowing Hitzigger, he'll try lulling me into a false sense of security. When I come out, he'll spring out and get me. I start walking through the Carnovasch Estate now. The floor is squeaking underneath me. Suddenly, I hear Hitzigger crashing against one of the back doors. I move through the house faster. As I turn down a hallway, I hear one of the doors give way. "Yeah, I'll bet you're in here, ain't ya?" I hear him sneering. "I ain't afraid of no house. If you're in here, I'll find you." I continue moving quietly down the hallway until I come to two doors across from each other. I open one of them to reveal a room full of magic stuff. Then I got an idea. I open the other door and slam it hard. Next, I go into the room I just found and quietly close the door. Seeing this big mirror, I go and hide behind it. I hear Hitzigger coming to the doors now. He's opening the one I slammed and moving downstairs. Time to get out of here. I stand up and suddenly see myself in that big mirror. Whew! At least I didn't scream. Then I notice the glass has this weird red hue. From a distance, you can't really see it. When you're right up to the glass, though. Okay, enough hanging around. I'd better get out of here. I open the door and quietly see the basement doors open across from me. I slip out and start making my way to the open back door. So far, so good. As I'm coming outside, a hand grabs my shoulders and pulls me. Oh no, Hitzigger was waiting to trap me. About time I found you, Horton. Perspective, Carter Cross. Horton calms down when he sees it's me. "Hitzigger chasing you again?" I ask him. He points behind him with his thumb. "He's in there." I point over my shoulder. "Madeline's out front. Go to her, I got this." I stay and wait. Soon Bull Hitzigger comes barreling out. That's when I slap him on the back. "Oh, you dead meat, Horton!" he yells before turning around. Surprise! I tell him. I saw you chasing Horton again. What did I tell you about leaving him alone? Any other time, Hitzigger backs off. This time, he points right at me. You alone, Cross? Ain't got your other friends with ya? He pounds a fist into his palm. I can take ya. I'm ready for him. Show me what you got, fat boy. When Hitzigger comes at me, I easily sidestep him so he trips back inside the house and falls. When he's on his feet again, he comes back out and takes a wild swing at me. I duck it to grab him and put him in a hammerlock. Then I shove him up against the other door and make him cry out. What's that about you taking me, Irving? I ask. Don't you call me that, he yells. I'm gonna kill ya! I'm sorry, what did you say? Then I crank up the hammerlock again. Okay, Uncle, he yells. You gonna leave Horton alone? I persist, cranking on his arm one more time. Yes, I'll leave the wimp alone. Let me go, he wails. Before I let him go, I pull him away from the wall to turn and shove him towards the few steps leading up to the back doors. He stumbles down them, but doesn't fall. Then Hitzigger turns and sneers at me. I point right at him. You better remember Horton's got friends, something you're in very short supply of. Now get lost. Hitzigger points at me now. You ain't always gonna be there to protect him. I shrug. That's why Chapman and Chunker are around too. Or did you forget what happened when you crossed Chapman last time? For the record, Hitzigger tried fighting Chapman to get to Horton. I was a sweetheart today compared to when Chapman decked him. Chapman looks like a hood and can back up what he says. Honestly, he's real easygoing, until you cross him. Hitzigger crossed him. When he sees he ain't getting Horton, he yells a choice word before going back over the fence. It took a few tries. He gets back on his bike and rides away. I move across the yard and find Madeline Donnerly sitting on her mongoose and Horton sitting on mine. I take it you handled things, buddy? Madeline asks in her mousy voice. Yeah, he got the point, I tell her. Today, anyway. You okay, Horton? Horton smirks. Yeah, he didn't get me. At least today. What did you do this time? Madeline asks him. Horton shrugs. Nothing, I swear. He saw me and Bailey Downs together at Bobbletopia yesterday. Then today he comes to school and comes right after me in the hallway. You don't suppose he's got a thing for Bailey, do you? Madeline shakes her head a little. Nah, I can't see it. Also, Bailey would have said something to the rest of us. Well, at least us girls. Then I point to the house. I can't believe you actually went in there, dude. You do know what this place is, right? Or did Hitzigger clock you and you don't remember?
Did you hear that? Better check the locks on your doors. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Had to make a quick decision, Carter, he says simply. Cross, Horton, Maddie! A familiar voice calls out. We turn to see Bill Chapman coming. He points right at us. You guys see Hitzigger? I saw him chasing after Horton. Carter got him before you did, Madeline tells him. Sorry, buddy, didn't know you were chasing Hitzigger too, I tell Chapman. He gently smacks my shoulder. Hey, you're okay, Cross. I told Hitzigger I'd kill him if he didn't leave Horton alone. He just doesn't listen. Glad you were there. Guess we both saw him, I said. We're good. Chapman turns to Horton. You good? I'm good, Horton confirms. Then Chapman looks at the house. It don't take him long to put two and two together. You ran in there? Horton shrugs. Like I just told these guys, it was a quick decision. Either I face Hitzigger or hide in there. Besides, I tricked him before I left. Then Horton's telling us about this magic room he found. Magic room? Chapman asks. We all know what kind of magic the Carnovasches were into, huh? Don't remind us, Madeline mutters. Then Horton tells us about this weird antique mirror he looked at in that magic room. Oh, I gotta see this room, Chapman says. I put my hand on his shoulder. Dude, This is supposed to be a real haunted house here in Strickfield for many reasons. The last story Madeline and me read about it on the Strickfield University website was how these two Strickfield High girls threw this big Halloween party there. Didn't take long for things to go south fast when this monster showed up and crashed the party. One of the girls was a Mirren. No one's ever seen her again. What about the Mirrens, Carter? A voice I'd kinda rather not hear right now calls out. We all turn to see Ariel Mirren coming. Then she points right at me. You're gonna be on the Strickfield University website if you don't quit posting videos of me and that rotten goober Stewart on Facebook. I kinda look at Madeline now. She just shrugs. You're the one who likes tempting fate with Ariel, buddy. Then Ariel forgets she's mad at me when she sees where we're all gathered at. Seriously, are you people crazy? There are plenty of places to hang out in Strickfield, and you're all hanging out here. Hello, this is the Carnovasch Estate. Chapman looks her way. We didn't plan on meeting here. Cross and me were chasing down Hitzziger when he was chasing down Horton. Ariel looks at Horton now. And you had to come here? Horton gives her a weak smile. Which would you choose? Hitzziger's fists or the haunted house? It's a rock and a hard place, but... Then Chapman speaks up again. I want to see this magic room Horton was talking about. Ariel slaps his arm. I guess you are stupid. Chapman points at me and Horton. These two were just in there and came back out okay. Besides, it's still daylight yet. It ain't gonna be dark for another hour. We just go in, look at Horton's room, and come back out. One of us can stay by the door, just in case. I agree with Ariel, Madeline says. I don't think we ought to be tempting fate here. Maddie, it's just for a few minutes, Chapman persists. Besides, I'm curious on what else these Carnovasches are into since we kinda came here on Halloween night. Nothing doing. There's no talking Chapman out of this. I point at him. Okay, but I'm coming in with you. Somebody's got to have your back in case something happens. That's fine, Chapman agrees. Then Ariel snatches my arm. No, Carter, no. I'm ready to shake Ariel off, but then our eyes meet. Why does this always happen whenever Ariel and me are together? Don't get me wrong, Ariel and me have been on each other's nerves since the 3rd grade, but there's times when we really do get along. Only lately Ariel and me have been... Madeline knows there's something happening between me and Ariel. I'll admit it. I really like her. She's really a nice person when she's not putting up her Mirren shield. Then Chapman slaps my arm. Just kiss her already. When Ariel and me look at him, she's growling and ready to slap him. I hate you, Chapman. I point at him. Seriously, buddy, I'm gonna kill you. Chapman laughs. Hey, dude, I'm just calling it like I see it. Then Ariel points at Madeline. I see you biting on your lower lip, Mouse. Go on, laugh it up. She growls again when Madeline does just that. I hate you, Mouse. Then Chapman starts walking toward the house. I'll be right back. I sigh and look at the others. I said I'd go in with him. Carter! Ariel calls out when I'm trotting after Chapman. Perspective, Madeline Donnerly. When I'm seeing two of my buddies going in, I hop off my mongoose. Then Ariel grabs my arm. You are not thinking of going in there. I shrug. They're our friends, Ariel. I ain't gonna just leave them to go on like that. Besides, Carter would do the same for me. Ariel points to Horton. This is your fault, Beanpole. Then she groans. Fine, Mouse. I'm coming with you. Wait for me, Horton squeaks. I'm not staying out here by myself. Who knows if Hitzziger might come back? Good thinking, I say. Let's be honest here. This little mousie still ain't forgotten about going back to 1955 and spending a whole week in this house. Back then, the place was still nice, but it still had that creepy vibe to it. but you didn't have to worry about whether you were going to come back out the same way you went in. We're all at the back doors now. Carter and Chapman already went in. Horton goes back inside. The room's over here, guys. Then Ariel and me are looking at each other, kinda saying we can't let the guys go in by themselves. So Ariel and me go in. I think I was expecting the door to suddenly slam shut right behind us, but it didn't. It ain't long before we find the guys in the room Horton found. He was right. There's all kinds of magic stuff in here. Not like the kind of magic the Carnovasches are known for. This is all illusion, like the rabbit out of the hat kind of stuff. Chapman's looking at one of them boxes where somebody gets inside and the magician saws it in half. Man, I wonder how this trick really works. Carter points to it as he's raising a saw. Get in and let's find out. Chapman laughs. No way. Carter laughs too and puts the saw back down. Now we're all seeing that mirror Horton was talking about. Soon we're gathering round it. Horton points to it. See, like I was telling you guys, there's some kind of red tint or hue when you're close enough to the glass. Everybody else is looking in the mirror. We do see the redness Horton was talking about. When they finish checking the mirror out, I come and stand in front of it. What the? Chapman gasps. You guys seeing this? Mouse? Ariel chokes. Is there something you want to tell us? Madeline? Carter asks, just as shocked. Yeah, I ain't believing this myself. Seriously, I'm looking straight at the glass, but there ain't another me looking back. I can see the reflection of the rest of the room and the others around me. Just no me. You're not a vampire, right? Horton asks, sounding kinda scared. I raise my finger. I ain't getting this, you guys, but I do know I ain't no vampire. But you ain't casting no reflection, Chapman's stressing. Vampires don't cast no reflection. I turn around and raise my hand in front of me. Honest to goodness, you guys, I ain't no vampire. I point to the open back door. I've been out in daylight all day, right? I've been in classes at school with all of you. Then I get an idea and pull out my compact I used to talk to or summon Mary Worth. Then I turn back around and show everybody I got a reflection in it. This is so weird, Ariel mutters. Then she pulls her own compact out and stands next to me. Mouse reflects in mine, too. But why ain't you reflecting in this big mirror, Maddie? Chapman asks, puzzled. I shrug. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know what to tell you. Then Horton hands me a candy bar. Eat this. Vampires aren't supposed to be able to eat anything, right? Not true. Bella Tabon, or Bells, is the only vampire I know that can eat food and walk in the daylight. Other than that, Horton's right about vampires not being able to eat normal food. Far as I know, they can only drink blood, and that's it. Anyway, I accept the candy bar and eat it in front of everybody. Okay, you all saw that, Carter says, coming to my side. Madeline passed our test, so she ain't a vampire. Hold it. Let's check her teeth, Ariel says. Open up, Mouse.
Don't go away. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Suddenly, I'm raising my hands into claws. Bleh, bleh! Ariel shrieks, getting everybody else laughing. Then Ariel's glaring right at me. Oh, I hate you, Mouse! Sorry, I couldn't resist, I chirp. Then I open my mouth and let Ariel feel my canine teeth. They're pretty much the same size as everybody else's. Better be careful, princess, Carter warns her. Madeline just might be a vampire and chomp down on your fingers. When Ariel's ready to get on Carter, I lean in toward her. Bleh! Bleh! Ariel gasps and gets everybody laughing again. She tightens her fists and growls. I hate you, Mouse! Then she calms down. Still, why don't you cast a reflection in this particular mirror? That's something I want to know the answer to myself. I know who I gotta talk to for that later on. Okay, now can we get out of here? I ask. I would have expected Ariel to give me a hard time about being scared. Yeah, this little mousie's a little scared, but not 'cause we're inside the Carnovasch Estate. I really want to know why I ain't casting no reflection in that mirror. Also, when the others weren't looking, I looked again to see if Mary Worth would appear. And she didn't. Not concrete proof, though. Mary might have just been keeping out of sight so she wouldn't be seen. The 5 of us finally leave the Carnovasch Estate and head back to our bikes. We look for any signs of Irvin Hitziger, but we ain't seeing him around. But you just know he's gonna try for Horton again when he knows none of us are around. Thinking about it, Hitziger did kinda give up on Horton for a little bit and started coming after me. Believe it or not, I ain't afraid of Hitziger. Try as he might, he never could get a hold of me. Nah, this little mousie's way too wily for someone like Hitziger. He even tried catching me on bikes. All Hitziger can do is ride, and he ain't even good at doing that. I've been riding with Carter Cross for years. We actually won bike competitions together, so I could easily ride circles around Hitziger. I don't know for sure if Hitziger finally gave up on me and went back to Horton, but he'll never catch this little mousie on her best day. After making sure Horton and Ariel get back home okay, Chapman heads off to his house. Carter and me are riding to our part of downtown Village. We pull in the driveway between our houses and get off our bikes. You sure you're okay, Madeline? Carter asks. Aw, come on, buddy. You still thinking I'm a vampire? I sigh. Okay, what other vampire test you wanting me to do? He holds up his hand. Nah, we're good. I believe you. I just keep wondering why you didn't reflect in that Carnovasch mirror. I take Carter's hand. I promise you I'm okay, buddy. Just then, the back door opens. Mom's right there. You kids want to come in for something warm? I turn her way. Coffee? Mom smiles. Fresh made. I brighten up. Yes! Carter and me go inside. Mom had peppermint hot chocolate going too, which is what she gave Carter. Carter watches me drink my Ginger Dead Death Wish coffee. He also sees me eat a few Christmas cookies Mom made. Nah, he don't think I'm a vampire. He just worries about me, like a best buddy would. After a while, Carter leaves and heads back home to finish up on homework. I head upstairs and into the bathroom. Sure enough, Mary Worth's waiting for me. You know what happened earlier? I ask her. I was able to hear your conversation once you and Ariel opened up your compacts, Mary replies. I did not have the chance to look over that mirror, but I have a bad feeling about it. I'm thinking maybe I better keep an eye on everybody and see, I say. I shall do the same since I have access to their mirrors, Mary promises. I just got a bad feeling myself, same as you. It's the Carnovasch Estate after all, I tell her. I'm afraid we may only wait and see, Madeline. We end our conversation from there. I head back down to help Mom with dinner. Dad'll be home in a little while. I got a feeling my mousy sense, my tummy, ain't gonna stop pangin' for a while. Tuesday, December 19th. Perspective, Ariel Mirren. Mouse and I walk home from school together. I don't know what happened to Mona Abels and Bailey Downs. Oh wait, I think Bailey's working with Horton on some project at Strickfield Public Library. I just hope Irving Hitziger isn't waiting somewhere to jump Horton again. Oh, he tried giving me a hard time, but he's just a coward deep down. Irving is bigger and fatter than me, but I don't back down from anybody, not even my own mom. When we reach the side door next to the main gate, I ask Mouse if she wants to come in with me. Yeah, I can study with you for a little while, she replies. I punch in the gate code for us to go in. After I close the door, we walk to my house a few blocks down and off Capitol Court. As soon as we're inside, I'm ready to call out to Mom and let her know I'm home, like she really cares whether I'm here or not. But on this particular day, Mom does care. She suddenly comes right out of the downstairs hallway and grabs hold of my shoulders. Why would you do such a thing, Ariel Renaissance Mirren? Then I'm seeing my little 4-year-old goober of a cousin just behind her. Now I'm looking Mom in the face. What do you mean? Do what? I just got home from school. Ask Madeline here. She walked with me. I've seen Mom at her worst before, but this time, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear she's ready to literally skin me alive. She takes her hands off one shoulder, clamps down on the other one, and makes me come into the grand dining room. "Look at it!" she roars. I put my hands to my mouth and gasp. This is where we usually eat dinner at night, but you wouldn't know it now. Then I hear Mouse gasp behind me. I'm half expecting Mom to point at Mouse and order her to leave, but she never makes so much as a single glance at her. Getting back to the grand dining room, it's completely wrecked. 2 of the china cabinets are tipped over, and many of the antique dishes and cups are shattered. Mom mentioned how expensive they were in the past. The cabinets themselves are antique, and the glass is shattered out on those doors. If that's not enough, all of the old oak chairs are busted up. Even the grand table is all scratched. I mean, this very room was all full of priceless antiques. Then Mom turns me to face her and starts shaking me. "Why would you do this? Why?" She shoves me away. "I've always known you were a spoiled brat, Ariel, but this is just too much." I tighten my fists. "What are you talking about?" I yell back. "I didn't do anything to this room." Then I see Stuart pointing at me and snickering where Mom can't see him. I rush right around her and grab his shoulders. "Did you do this, you rotten little goober? Did you?" Stuart responds by kicking me hard in the shin. That's when Mom turns me back around. "Oh, no, you don't, child. You come with me this instant." Mom brings me to her office where she codes her computer games. I rarely ever come in here. In fact, Mom never likes me to disturb her while she's working unless it's a real emergency, period. She shoves me to her computer and points to some security footage. Now I'm gasping when I see something impossible.
More scares to come. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
"That's right, Ariel Renaissance Mirren," Mom snaps. "That is you in that security footage. There's no way that you can deny it. Don't you dare put the blame on Stuart. He was with me the entire afternoon." Then Mouse steps up and points to the time listed on the upper left square. "Is this the correct time the video was recorded, Mrs. Mirren?" Mom looks at Mouse like she's out of line. She seems ready to yell at her, but she doesn't. "Yes, it is, Madeline. Why do you ask?" "Well, if this happened at 2:04 p.m. today," Mouse looks right at Mom. "Ariel and I were in 8th period at school at that time. Ariel's in all of my classes with me, Mrs. Mirren." I nod fast. Yeah, that's right, Mom. I've been in school all day. You can go to school and ask all my teachers. You can ask all my friends. Madeline's right. We're in every class together. How could I have come home and wrecked the grand dining room while I'm still at school? But Mom isn't buying it. The camera footage clearly shows you, Ariel, and you wrecked the grand dining room. I have a good mind to send you to live with other relatives. You're just getting to be too much anymore. But I didn't do this, Mom, I protest. Didn't you hear Madeline? We were in school together all day. All day, Mom. Again, I've got lots of witnesses. Mouse taps my forearm. Take out your test. I quickly open my backpack and take out my test paper. Madeline and I were taking this test during 8th period, right at the time she pointed to on that screen. I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm not taking the blame for doing this. Mom snatches up the test paper and looks at it. Then she rips it right up in front of me, throwing the remains on the floor. She puts her finger right in my face now. You can't talk your way out of this, you little monster. Then she points to the computer screen again. That is obviously you on all of these angles. And that's not all you did. Suddenly, Mom grabs my arm and pulls me out of the living room. When we're there, she shoves me in. I gasp when I see the living room itself is also wrecked. What do you have to say for yourself? Mom scolds me. You weren't content with destroying the grand dining room. You also had to destroy the living room. Look what you did to the Christmas tree and all the presents. Now she turns me around. Do you realize how much money it's going to cost to restore everything that you destroyed today? I'm seeing Mouse behind her giving me that look. No, she's not scared of me. She's scared of what I'm about to do. I'm tightening my fists and heaving now. Then I point at my mom and scream, I didn't do this! I'm so beyond mad right now that I run to grab something and throw it at Mom, but then Mouse is right there to stop me. No, don't do it, Ariel. I'm looking Mouse in the face as she's shaking her head quickly. No, Madeline, step aside, Mom tells her. Let Ariel throw that debris in her hand at me. Show me how much you truly hate me, Ariel. Do it. When I see Mouse's pleading face, I shake my head myself and drop the thing in my hand. If you know me by now, you know I give Mouse a hard time. At the same time, you also know that I truly cherish my friendship with her. I couldn't tell you how many times Madeline Donnerly has proven to be my conscience in extremely bad situations. I take a deep breath and look at Mom. I don't care what your camera footage says. I'm sticking by what I said. I didn't do any of this, and I've got witnesses to confirm where I was. Mom still won't back down either. She sighs now. I see. Well then, Ariel, since it seems you've grown too wild, beyond my control, I want you out of my house. I gave you a good home. I've let you have your slumber parties on Friday nights with your friends. I've usually let you have your way in most instances, but you went too far this time. I've tried to teach you how to be a dominant Mirren, but this is not what I had in mind. I mean it, child. Get out of my house. Normally, I have tried to be a dominant Mirren. I've tried to be more like Mom, but I can't handle this anymore. My feelings become too much and I start crying. Mom and I have always had a strained relationship, but now this horrible thing has happened. I really don't know how to fix this. Mouse even vouched for me, but I can't prove it wasn't me. No, Ariel, you don't get to do this, Mom snaps. Go pack what you need and get out of my house. You think you don't have to listen to me anymore? Then leave here and go make your own way in the world. Then Mouse says to her, I'm telling you, it wasn't Ariel, Mrs. Mirren. Now Mom gives Mouse this weird look. Then she approaches her and puts her hand on Mouse's shoulder. Madeline, you've always been the most level-headed person among Ariel's friends that I know. I know your mother, so I feel that I also know you. So I'm going to ask you nicely. Would you please stop trying to cover up for Ariel? Mouse remains calm and doesn't back down. Ariel didn't do this, ma'am, and I'm going to stand by that. Ariel really was with me at school all day. Again, she's in all of my classes. Please just ask our teachers. They'll all tell you she was in their classes today. Then how do you explain the video footage? Mom persists. I can't, Mouse replies. I'm just as puzzled myself, but I do know Ariel was with me all day at school. I even walked home with her. I promise I ain't lying to you. Also, Carter Cross is in our 8th period class with us. He'll also tell you Ariel was there. Now Mom seems conflicted. Then she takes a deep breath. What did Ariel threaten you with, Madeline? What? Mouse and I both cry out together. Mom points at Mouse. I would have expected better from you, Madeline Donnerly. Seriously, what did Ariel threaten you with? Now she looks right at me. I myself taught you the Mirren ways. So what did you threaten little Madeline Donnerly here with, Ariel? I point right at her now. Oh, you! Oh, man! Mouse groans and quickly covers her ears before I belt out the absolute most blood-curdling scream I've ever belted out to date. Perspective, Bill Chapman. It ain't long before I make it home. I'm only halfway in the driveway when I hear someone. Chapman! I turn around and see Horton running my way. I quickly drop my backpack and get my fists ready. Seriously, if Hitzigger's chasing Horton again... Nope. Horton's by himself. He stops running when he reaches me. You okay, Horton? I ask. What are you running from this time? Is it Hitzigger again? Horton takes a few deep breaths. No. Mom's after me now. Huh? What do you mean your mom's after you? I ask. He raises his arms up and outward. Mom's being a complete psycho today, Chapman. I give him a weird look. She's always a complete psycho, bud. I'm not lying. Ever see Stephen King's It? Remember that psycho mom who tried keeping Eddie from his Losers Club friends? Well, in the real world, that's Horton's mom. She don't hide the fact she can't stand any of us. I couldn't tell you how many times Meredith Horton's tried keeping her son in the house forever and ever. Now Richie's usually a pretty easygoing kind of guy. A little too easygoing if you ask me. Anyway, he's stood up to Meredith when she'd get out of line with him. After Halloween night, Meredith told Richie he'd never hang with us ever again. He told us about it when we started going to Strickfield Junior High again. Oh, and get this. Meredith just hates Maddie Donnerly. I ain't got no clue why. None of us do. I couldn't tell you how many times Meredith's yelled at her. Just her. You gotta hand it to Maddie, though. She just shrugs her off and never lets Meredith get to her. Also, Horton's mom won't even let Maddie come into the house. She barely tolerates us, but why hate on Maddie? Richie finally talks to me. I got in the door after school, and Mom was there. Suddenly, he puts his hands on my shoulder. Now I know something's wrong when he's doing that. I mean, I don't care because Horton's my bud, but you remember the Christmas tree and all the presents in the living room? Yeah, I utter. The living room was a complete wreck, Chapman, Horton continues. The tree was destroyed. All the presents were opened and the contents thrown everywhere. Mom got me a new video game console and it was all busted up. When I asked Mom what happened, she blamed me. She said I did it. She said she saw me wreck the living room. Then she said I knocked her down and ran out the back door.
More scares to come. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
I'm just looking at Horton now. Let's get real here. I've known my two best friends, Richie Horton and Brian Chunk, since we were pups. We've been through thick and thin together, especially when it comes to Abigail Tomlin's ghost and us disappearing for a whole year. I guess what I'm saying here is that Horton ain't the kind of person who'd just make crazy stuff up. Yeah, what he just told me sounds nuts, I know. Before I can answer Horton, we hear tires squealing. We look to see Horton's mom's car out in front of my driveway. You get back here right now, Richie, Meredith yells, pointing at him. Right now! Then she points at me. I'll bet you and that Madeline Donnerly put my son up to this, didn't you? I take a few steps her way and throw my arms up. Aw, would you just get serious for once in your life? She quickly backs up enough to where she can haul right into the driveway. I quickly turn back to Horton. Back door, bud. Horton and me run to the back porch. I quickly get the door open and push Horton inside. Before Meredith can rush into the house, I quickly slam the door and lock it. Hopefully she ain't psycho enough to break the glass to unlock the door. Horton and I go into the living room and... What the? I yell. Horton and I see my living room. I don't know what happened here, but it looks just like what Horton said his living room was like. The branches on the artificial Christmas tree are all over the place. The presents are all destroyed. Even the huge new TV Dad had just installed has a huge hole in the center of it. What's going on here, Chapman? Horton squeaks. Yeah, he's right to be scared. I look at him. Just tell me this ain't you here. Horton throws his arms up. Aw, come on, Chapman. Where would I find the time to trash my house and yours? He points to the back door where that nag's still banging away. Mom there said I did all that back at my house around the time we were at school during lunch period. Lunch period? Are you serious? I quickly raise my hand. Yeah, you are. You don't lie. Also, we were having lunch with Chunker, Cross, and Maddie in our school's cafeteria, so we can definitely vouch for you. Horton looks worried. But who can vouch for you? We don't know when this happened. Now, I ain't one to be scared of nothing, but then... Bill? That better not be you, boy! Any other time, I don't mind hearing my Army drill sergeant dad talking like that. But I ain't liking how he's calling out my name right now. If what I'm thinking happened the way Horton said happened to him, I know I ain't gonna want to face my old man. Soon as we hear him moving fast to the stairs to come down, Horton and I don't think twice and hit the front door. Horton and me leap off the front steps and run for it. Horton and me can run pretty fast, but there's two people I know for sure we can't outrun. Ariel Mirren's one of them. The other one is my old man. And believe me when I say you never want my old man chasing after you. Company, halt! Dad yells at us. Dad's really a great guy, even though he's an army man. But when he's got it in his mind about something, kinda like what just went down, good luck trying to explain your side. Man, I don't know about Horton, but I can hear my old man catching up. He's gonna get both Horton and me. Horton's mom's a little ways behind, but she's chasing us down too. I said, company, halt! Dad yells even louder. We're dead meat, Horton, I tell him. I'd rather face Hitzziger than your dad and my mom right now, Horton says. Just then, Cross and Maddie appear on their bikes and stop as we're about to cross the street. Get on, Cross tells us. They both lift their butts off their seats so Horton and me can get on. We gotta move, Madeline, Cross tells her when he sees my old man and Horton's mom. Maddie gulps when she sees how fast Dad's running. Still, she and Cross are pedaling as fast as they can. They'd probably get away from my old man easier if Horton and me weren't on their seats. Maddie and Cross keep pedaling for all they're worth. Dad's nearly 50, but you wouldn't think so with how fast he runs. He comes so close to catching us. He almost grabs me off Maddie's bike, but the smallest and thinnest girl in our group finally outpedals my old man. You gotta come back to base and face your court-martial sometime, boy, Dad yells. Maddie and Cross keep riding until we make it to the driveway in between where they live. We all pull in and head out back. Soon we stop and are off the bikes. Then we see Ariel Mirren coming out of Carter's house, which is the red brick one on the right. Cross points to his house. Let's go inside. The four of us join Ariel, who holds the door open and lets us in. When she closes it, Cross faces all of us. Somebody want to tell me what's going on here? He points to Ariel and Maddie. The girls both said Princess's castle in the gated community got trashed big. Then I jump a little when I feel someone moving around my leg. I look down and see a little kid. That's my 4-year-old cousin Stuart, Ariel tells us. Mom was really freaking out when Mouse and I made our jailbreak from my house. Guess Mom also scared Stuart and he ran after us. We had to bring him along. Then she looks at him. I should have left you back there for kicking me earlier, you little goober. Stuart gives her a mean look and looks ready to grab something, but Maddie quickly gets in between them. Come on, you two. We got bigger problems here right now. Then Maddie takes off her beret and puts it on Stuart's head. He don't look so mad now. Then Cross continues. My parents ain't home yet, but they're already freaking about their classic van in the garage. It was cherry. Now it's all dented on the outside and busted up inside. He points upstairs. Their bedroom is also destroyed, including their waterbed. And that living room's a wreck. The Christmas tree and presents are destroyed. Cross's parents are a couple of laid-back hippies, but it don't sound like they're going to be so laid back when they come home and find him. Can't you explain to your parents when they get home, Carter? Maddie asks. Cross whips out his smartphone. Yeah, kind of a problem there, Madeline. When she sees the phone, she gasps. Then Cross shows the rest of us. It's his Instagram, only now there's pictures showing him wrecking the van, his parents' room, and the living room. How about you two? Cross asks us. Perspective, Madeline Donnerly. Aw, man. Seriously, what is going on here? We're listening as Horton and Chapman explain their stories and why they were running when we found them. I don't get it either, Carter tells us. Okay, I think we agree we all were at school when we supposedly did all this stuff. But somehow our parents have witnessed us doing everything, Ariel replies. Carter's right. How could we all have trashed everything we supposedly trashed when we were all at school? Then she looks right at me. You better go check your house, Mouse. I ain't really wanting to, but at the same time, I gotta know. Fine, let's go. We leave Carter's house and head next door to my place. I open the back door and let the others come in. After closing the door, Carter tells me he'll check the basement. We stay and wait. All good down here, Madeline, he calls up. We wait for him to come back up, then we check the rest of the first floor. I'm almost afraid to look in Mom's studio. I gulp and open the sliding doors. Whew. Everything's looking good so far. The rest of the rooms down here ain't trashed or destroyed in any way. Also, the Christmas tree, presents, and decorations are still intact in the living room. I really don't want to go upstairs, but I gotta see. We all head up. So far, we ain't seen Mom nowhere, and Dad usually don't get home till around 6. If anybody's gonna be here, it'll be Mom. When we reach the top, Carter goes and checks the bathroom. When Ariel's pointing at a spare bedroom that's kinda got some junk in it, I nod. She turns on the light and looks inside. Looks okay, Mouse, she tells me. We finally reach my bedroom. Really, Mouse? Ariel asks, pointing to the sign on my door that says, Welcome to the Mouse Hole. I remember seeing that sign earlier in December when I came looking for you and Carter, before you both slipped out and got away. You both remember that, right? Don't remind us, Princess, Carter tells her. I take a deep breath and open the mouse hole's door. Then I flip on the light. I'm both shocked and relieved at the same time. Everything's still intact in there. Just for good measure, I open my sliding closet doors. I turn around to face the others, then I remember we still got one more room. Aw, man, if Mom and Dad's room's wrecked, I ain't never gonna hear the end of it, I mutter. I'll go and take a quick look. Wait here. I'm ready to walk out of the mouse hole when Mom suddenly appears in the doorway, making us all shriek.
You're not safe yet. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Ariel never saw me, but I did gasp a little. I ain't forgot how Ariel promised she'd see me get scared one day. Well, this is one more she just missed. Mom ain't looking at all of us. Just me. Mom, it wasn't me, I tell her. I just got home, I swear, I ain't never trashed your bedroom. I heard the guys say Mom was a dead ringer for Violet from Friday the 13th Part 5 with her looks and her punk rock clothes. Mom's giving me a weird look and folding her arms in front of her. Excuse me, Maddie, what? Your bedroom ain't trashed or busted up? I ask weakly. Mom laughs a little. And why exactly would my bedroom be trashed or busted up? Then she's looking at all of us again. Okay, kids, she points at Ariel. Honey, your mom just called here looking for you and little Stuart there. And believe me when I say she sounded like she was about to have an aneurysm. She kept repeating something to the extent of how you wrecked her dining room and living room. Ariel groans. Mrs. Donnerly, I swear I never did any of those things. Mom unfolds her arms and extends her little finger. You willing to pinky promise on that, Ariel? Think very carefully before. Ariel quickly locks her little finger with Mom's. Pinky promise. Mom nods at Ariel and points at Carter. I also got a call from your parents, too. Sounds like you're in big, big trouble when you get home. Carter holds out his pinky. I'm willing to make the same promise, Mrs. Donnerly. Mom waves him off. No need. She looks over all of us again. I believe you. Now let's go downstairs to the living room. Then you're all going to tell me everything. And I do mean everything. As Mom's turning around, Chapman calls out, You ain't gonna believe us, ma'am. Mom raises her eyebrow to him. Try me, Bill. And that goes for the rest of you. Now, downstairs. Carter flips off the mousehole's light. Then we all follow Mom downstairs to the living room and sit. Mom goes into the kitchen and comes back with some Christmas cookies. She puts them on the table and then brings sodas to go with them. Little Stuart ain't sure if it's okay. Mom smiles and hands him a couple cookies before she goes and sits in her recliner, kinda like she's the head of a meeting. After she crosses her legs, she folds her arms in front of her again. Okay, Mom says with finality. Try me. Perspective, Carter Cross. Madeline's mom, Tiffany, listens as we're telling her everything we're in trouble for. She still don't seem too convinced. She unfolds her arms and raises her finger. Okay, you kids need to go further back. Something had to have happened in between all of you leaving school and the incidents that took place today. We all tell Tiffany everything we did, but she still doesn't look convinced. Okay, did you guys do anything out of the ordinary or interesting on another day prior? She asks. Then Horton finally says it. We were at the Carnovasch Estate yesterday. Tiffany raises her eyebrow to him. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Do tell. Horton tells her how we originally ended up at the Carnovasch Estate and how we weren't there with him originally. The rest of us pick up and tell Tiffany how we all ended up there. And aside from you, Richie, did any of you go into the house? She asks. We all admit we did. Then Madeline tells her mom about the big mirror. We all chime in about that magic room and how we all looked into the mirror. That's it, Mrs. Donnerly, Ariel finishes. We all pretty much stayed together. We didn't mess around with anything in that room, and we didn't go into any other rooms. We just looked at that mirror. After that, we left. Tiffany looks at all of us now before giving her 2 cents. Personally, I believe things don't just happen. Something makes things happen. All of you should remember that when it comes to that old house. Things are never as seldom as they seem. I myself have never been in the Carnovasch Estate, but there's a reason why things in Strickfield end up on the university's website. Do you believe us, Mrs. Donnerly? Ariel asks. Let's be honest, Ariel. There are many reasons why I shouldn't believe any of you here. Even my own daughter, Tiffany admits. However, I've known most of you for years, including you, Carter Cross. I also know my own daughter. As for Richie and Bill, I'm getting to know you two as well. None of you look like you're the sort to do the things you were seen doing. At the same time, people saw you, all of you, with the exception of you, Maddie. Then Madeline comes out with it. Funny thing, Mom, I was the only one who didn't cast a reflection in that Carnovasch mirror. She raises her finger. For the record, I ain't no vampire. Maddie's right, ma'am. We all saw it, Chapman agrees. Oh, I have absolutely no reason whatsoever to doubt my own daughter, Tiffany tells him. Baxter and I both raised Maddie, and she doesn't lie to us. Now, the way I'm seeing things here, that mirror probably has a lot to do with what's going on with all of you. All of you were seen doing damage of some kind to your parents' houses, except for you, Maddie. Then Madeline remembers something. I ain't been out in the garage yet, Mom. Carter and me parked our bikes out there, but what if the garage is wrecked like Carter's? Tiffany gives Madeline a gentle smile. I can assure you the garage is definitely not wrecked, since I just pulled my car in there. Also, absolutely nothing in this house is wrecked either. Honey, I got home just before all of you came here, and I checked all the rooms myself. So, what do we do now? Horton asks. We can't just sit here, right? No, I don't think so, Tiffany agrees. We can't do nothing either. Truth be told, I honestly don't think anything will happen here. I'm thinking it would have happened already. Not that something couldn't happen, Mom, Madeline says. You could be right, but I don't think so, Tiffany replies. You thinking that mirror at the Carnovasch Estate has something to do with what's going on with the rest of us? Chapman asks Tiffany. Tiffany leans forward in her recliner a little. Well, we know what's going on with the rest of you is most illogical. How can all of you be creating chaos at your homes when you're at school? Doesn't make sense by itself, does it? With all you've mentioned about that mirror you looked into, that's what makes all this have perfect sense. Maddie looked into it with the rest of you, yet nothing happened here at the house. The rest of you saw yourselves in that mirror. Ariel suddenly remembers. Stuart here wasn't at the Carnovasch Estate with us yesterday, so he didn't look in the mirror. Tiffany looks at him now. Quite right, Ariel. Stuart, would you come here, please? Much to our surprise, he listens to Tiffany and goes to her. Now he's waiting for her to talk to him. Stuart, you're not in any trouble here, okay? I just want to ask you a few questions. Are you okay with that? Stuart nods slowly. Tiffany points at Ariel as she talks to Stuart again. Did you actually see your cousin here in her home, wrecking the dining room and living rooms this afternoon? Stuart nods quickly.
If you thought that was scary, just you wait. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Perspective, Ariel Mirren. I shoot to my feet and point at him. Oh, you lying little goober! Tiffany glances my way. Ariel, please. I know you're angry, and you have every right to be. I want to know what happened from Stuart's point of view, please. I groan and sit back down. Okay, Mrs. Donnerly, I'm sorry. It's okay, Mrs. Donnerly murmurs. Then she looks at Stuart again, points my way, and repeats her original question to him. Stuart nods quickly again. Mrs. Donnerly lowers her hand. Stuart, has Ariel ever shown any kind of behavior like this afternoon that you remember? I know you and Ariel don't get along the greatest, but I need you to be as honest with me as possible here. Stuart looks at me. I really don't know what the little goober is thinking. Then he looks back at Mrs. Donnerly and shakes his little head. Okay, thank you, Stuart. Mrs. Donnerly asks him one more question. Ariel is sitting here in the living room right now. Do you feel she wants to hurt you in any way? Please think about this very carefully before you answer. Again, Stuart looks from me to Mrs. Donnerly and back again. He's hesitant in answering her. He looks at me one more time, then back at Mrs. Donnerly. Finally, he shakes his head. Then he points at Mouse, who's sitting next to me. What about Madeline, Stuart? Mrs. Donnerly asks. He points to Mouse again and looks like he's scared. Soon he shakes his head and points at me. Mrs. Donnerly asks Mouse, You aren't scared of Ariel, are you, dear? Nope, Mouse replies. I ain't scared of nobody in this house right now. Then Stuart gets all happy and claps his hands. Mrs. Donnerly gets it. I don't believe Stuart is afraid of you, Ariel, because Maddie isn't scared of you. I think that's why he feels safe, too. Stuart nods quickly. Mrs. Donnerly smiles. Okay, thank you very much. You can go sit down now. Then she watches Stuart come and sit in between Mouse and me. Now he looks up at Mouse. He's always liked her. Mrs. Donnerly is looking at the rest of us. I'm thinking if anything further happens, it's going to happen at your houses. She points to Carter. It's a good thing you live next door, because here's what I'm thinking. And then Mrs. Donnerly tells us exactly what's on her mind. When Mr. Donnerly comes home, his wife explains to him what's going on and that we're all staying at the house for a little bit and why. I can't believe Mrs. Donnerly believes everything we told her. Baxter doesn't seem to show any signs of doubting Tiffany. When she's finished talking to him, he just nods and says, okay. Baxter comes and talks to me now. Tiffany tried calling your house, Ariel. I'm in agreement with my wife. I don't think you should go back to your house right now, at least not until all of this is settled. Tiffany's going to call Stuart's mom and see if she can come and get him. Good luck, Mr. Donnerly. I gave your wife Aunt Margaret's number, but she's very hard to get a hold of, I say. Understood, he replies. Then he goes to Carter, who's discreetly keeping an eye on his house from a mid-upstairs window. Anything, son? Carter looks his way. Not yet, sir. Did I hear Tiffany right about why you're watching your house, Carter? Baxter asks. You're looking to see if another you may turn up? It was her idea, Carter replies. It's the only one that makes any sense right now. After a little bit, Tiffany comes and finds me. I'm afraid I still can't reach your aunt. I don't have any other numbers for her, I tell her. That's fine. She puts her hand on my shoulder. How about you come help me make dinner? Maybe it'll ease your nerves. Then I can't help myself and hug Tiffany. To my surprise, she hugs me back. It's all right, honey, she tells me softly. We suddenly come apart, and not because it's getting close to dinner time. A window shattered near Mouse to get our attention. Then I see him. A second Horton. You belong to me now, he tells Mouse as he grabs her. Help! Mouse calls out. As Carter's ready to move away from the window he's at and go help her, that window shatters too. I gasp when I see another me wrapping her arms around him. I hate you, Carter, the other me tells him in an evil tone. Then one more window breaks to reveal another Carter. Suddenly, a second Chapman kicks in the back door and enters. Things just erupt into complete pandemonium here. You know things just got bad when little Stuart comes and hugs my leg. Perspective, Madeline Donnerly. Aw, man, this ain't supposed to be happening. Now we're under attack by the other's mirror doubles. Knowing my real friends from the mirror versions ain't very hard. 1, they all got red glowing eyes. 2, they just got those evil vibes when you see them. 3, and the most obvious of all, is what they're wearing. For example, our Chapman's wearing a camouflage t-shirt with Army on it. Chapman's double's wearing one too, except the pattern's reversed with YMRA on his. Also, there ain't no mirror double of this little mousy. Yeah, but I'm going to be bringing in my own double shortly, if you catch my drift here. But I got to get away from the other Horton first. I quickly drop to my knees and scurry in between Mirror Horton's legs. I'm back on my feet and quickly run into the stairway leading into the basement. After pulling the door shut, I haul my keister downstairs and pull my compact out of my pocket. We're in real trouble, Mary, I tell her. You know what to do, Madeline, she tells me. Mary Worth, Mary Worth, Mary Worth. I quickly say to the mirror. Now the ghostly energies come out of the mirror and go into me. Before long, I'm once again a passenger in my own body as Mary Worth takes over. Mary floats up and out of the house. Then she enters in on the ground floor when she sees what's going on. Ah, yes. Now I understand why you could not cast a reflection in the mirror at the Carnovasch Estate, Madeline. Mary thinks to me. The mirror is a doorway between the mortal realm and into my part of the afterlife known as the mirror realm. You did not cast a reflection because I myself reside in the mirror realm and am currently possessing you. And them mirror doubles? I ask. These are beings who have escaped and are looking to bring your friends back to the mirror. If they should succeed, your friends shall remain in the mirror realm for all time. Good thing we ain't near that mirror, I say with relief. No, Madeline, not that mirror. It can be any mirror in this case. They just need that one back at the Carnovasch Estate as their doorway to the mortal realm. I must stop those doppelgangers before they place your friends in mirrors. Mary, look! That Chapman's got a mirror, and he's going to use it on Mom. Mary casts a spell and causes the mirror to shatter. When the mirror doubles see Mary, they scream and quickly run out of the house in different directions. Two of them drop whatever mirrors they already had as they run. Okay, I was wrong. Our Carter cornered Mirror Ariel before she escaped. Chapman and Dad get over to her and keep her there. Mary quickly casts a spell to make a rope appear around Mirror Ariel. Then she casts one more spell to fix all the windows and the back door to keep the cold out. Now Mom and Mary are face to face. Mom ain't even scared. And then Mom actually talks to Mary where the others can't hear. Thank you for coming. You are safe for the moment, Tiffany Donnerly, Mary tells her. Then she floats back out of the house and into the basement. Mary brings out my compact and returns to the mirror realm to give me control of my body again. Then I look in the mirror and see Mary's face. Those doppelgangers will return, Madeline, Mary warns me. They cannot remain in the mortal realm as long as their real counterparts still exist here. Return to the others. Call upon me if you need me again. Thanks, Mary. I close up the compact and head back upstairs. When I open the door, Ariel grabs me. Where were you, Mouse? Then she looks at me funny. It is you, right? I'm me, Ariel, I assure her. Then Stuart comes and hugs me. I hug him back. You're definitely you, Ariel says. Stuart wouldn't have done that if you were one of those things. We go into the kitchen where Mirror Ariel is tied to one of the chairs at the table. You think you're safe? Mirror Ariel sneers. You just wait. The others will be back. One way or another, you will all be going into the mirror realm. Now she's looking right at our Ariel. I had so much fun wrecking those rooms in your house, ruining Christmas. I'm still laughing inside knowing you got the blame for everything. Now your own mom doesn't even want you anymore. Ooh, I bet that's gotta hurt. Our Ariel's shaking now. Oh, you! She tightens her fists and screams. Then she raises her fists to hit the other Ariel.
Shh, it was only the wind. You're safe. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Perspective, Bill Chapman. I reach out and stop Ariel. Then she turns and looks right at me. What are you doing, Chapman? Come on, what good will hitting her do? I ask. It's not going to fix anything back at your house or get you back home. Ariel's still shaking, but she finally backs off. Chapman's right, you guys. Even after we fix everything, I still can't go home. Mom will keep thinking I was the one who trashed those rooms. Then Maddie's got her smartphone out. Hey, Ariel, why don't you go stand behind your twin sister and smile real pretty? Ariel gives Maddie a weird look. Have you flipped your Mickey Mouse ears or something? But Maddie's dad gets it. No, do it, Ariel. Maddie's going to take pictures of the two of you. Then we can send them to your mom. But what if Mom doesn't buy it? Ariel asks. She's the absolute most stubborn woman I know, probably next to Aunt Margaret. Then she sighs. Okay, I'll do it, but only because you asked me to, Mr. Donnerly. Actually, I'm starting a video chat to your mom's phone, Maddie tells her. Got her. Ariel quickly moves up behind her mirror double. Then Maddie gives the signal. Say hello to our mom, Ariel tells her double. Then she looks at the phone. Hi, Mom. Look, what we've got to show you. No, your eyes aren't deceiving you. This isn't a trick. There really was another me who wrecked the house while I was at school. And she's sitting right here, looking all pretty for you. She slaps her double's shoulder. Well, come on, say hi to Mom. Then the other Ariel growls at our Ariel and glares at Maddie. "Oh, you! Cover your ears, everybody, quick!" Horton quickly tells us. The other Ariel belts out a high-pitched scream. When she calms down, Cross has a towel in his hand from the downstairs bathroom. "You get far away from me with that, you muscle-bound oaf!" the other Ariel snaps at Cross. Then our Ariel grabs the towel from him. "I'll gag you myself if you don't shut up. You still got Mom on the line, Mouse?" "Yep, keep going," Maddie answers. Now little Stuart Mirren's right there. He gives the other Ariel a mean look before he kicks her hard in the shin. She cries out before she thrashes forward. Stuart backs up when she roars at him. Our Ariel backs him up. "Careful, you little goober," Ariel tells him. "This other me might eat you up." Stuart looks up at his real cousin. He almost looks like he's ready to kick our Ariel too. But he doesn't. Then Ariel asks everybody, "Okay, now what do we do with this other me here?" She turns to Maddie's phone. "Still don't want to talk to me, Mom? We're all trying to tell you you're not seeing things. This isn't a trick for you to let me come back home." Then Ariel explains everything about us going to the Carnovasch Estate and finding that mirror, which was how we let our doubles come into the real world and how they were the ones who wrecked all those rooms at our houses. "Look, Mom, I know you and I don't really get along that well," Ariel says, "but I really thought you knew me better than that. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's fine. Show everybody here at the Donnerly house what kind of mom you really are." Suddenly, Maddie's mom gets a call on her smartphone. She answers it. "Oh, hello, Mrs. Mirren." "Yes, here's Ariel." She hands her the phone. Ariel and her mom get into it. Then Ariel's double gloats to Mrs. Mirren about how she wrecked everything and loved every minute of it. Oh, does Ariel's mom give her double an earful. When she asks to talk to her real daughter, Ariel's mom tells her she can come back home, but that she's still in big trouble for going into the Carnovasch Estate. Then I can see Ariel's mom give her a wicked look. "And do you know how you'll be paying me back for all the damages, Ariel Renaissance Mirren? Let's just say that you and Stuart are going to be getting real close over the next several months." Her mom hangs up. Now Stuart's giving our Ariel an evil kid look. I think Ariel's probably wishing her mom had kept her out after all. Now that I think about it, the rest of us can get off the hook once Maddie's parents explain everything. I don't think they'll kick us out of our houses the way Ariel's mom did her. I think even my old man might be willing to listen to reason. Then Horton has an idea. "I wonder what would happen if we went back to the Carnovasch Estate and shattered that mirror." "No!" the other Ariel yells. Then she goes crazy and starts trying to get free. Our Ariel approaches her. "What happens if we break it, huh?" When the other Ariel won't talk, our Ariel shows an evil smile. "If you don't talk, I'll have Stuart kick your shins again." When the other Ariel starts screaming and thrashing again, Cross and me go to her and keep her chair planted. Then she screams loud one more time. "You finished?" our Ariel asks. "Okay, if you don't talk, I think I'm going to scream again myself, right in one of your ears." "Better be talking," Maddie tells her. "I don't know about you, but I seen our Ariel actually crack windows with her screams." Then I say in the other Ariel's ear, "I wouldn't want our Ariel doing that to me." Our Ariel gives Cross a wicked look. "I could scream to get your sodas at school now." Cross shakes his head. "Never gonna happen, Princess. Maybe once you get back home, you can start using King Daddy's royal credit card again to get your own sodas." Ariel growls at Cross. "Oh, you! And again, Cross and Ariel are in their trance when their eyes meet. When Cross reaches out and holds Ariel's hand, the other Ariel rolls her eyes. "You two are making me sick here." Our Ariel quickly takes her hand back. Maddie's biting on her lower lip to keep from laughing. When Horton sees she's ready to burst, he quickly covers up for her by laughing himself. Our Ariel points at him. "You just keep laughing it up, Horton." Then she points at Maddie. "I heard you, Mouse." Then she grumbles. "I hate you, Carter." Anything you say, princess, Cross sneers. Then I get things back to where they gotta be. Maybe Horton's right. Maybe we ought to go back to that house and break that mirror. The other Ariel starts thrashing in her chair again. Don't you dare! If you shatter that mirror, none of the others can come through. We'll also have to go back since we haven't gotten any of you to take our places. What happens if we end up in the mirror world? Cross asks. When the other Ariel won't answer, our Ariel opens the refrigerator door and takes out a Coke. Then she comes and stands next to Cross. Now the other Ariel's eyeing the Coke. Our Ariel quickly notices. Then she smirks. I think now we're getting somewhere. Perspective, Ariel Mirren. I crack the Coke and take a drink. If it weren't for my girls sneaking this bubbly slice of heaven over to our sleepovers at my house on Friday nights, I'd both be stuck drinking diet sodas and losing my mind. Oh, you want some of this? I ask my double. Don't you dare taunt me like that, my double snaps. Then she looks desperate. I want that soda. Mouse points to the refrigerator. Tell us what we want to know and I'll give you one of your very own. We got plenty. She doesn't believe Mouse until she opens the refrigerator door and proves it. Now my double starts spilling everything. She answers Chapman's question by telling us if we end up in the mirror realm, then we stay there forever. As in, we just take your places in the mirror realm itself? Horton asks. That's right, the other Ariel answers. Then we can finally experience everything you experience, including Christmas. Baxter points at her now. And you just gave me an idea. Mouse's dad gathers all of us into his wife's studio and quietly explains his plan. What about my Coke? We hear the other Ariel calling out. Come on, I told you what you wanted to know. Please? When Baxter finishes explaining his plan, we go back into the kitchen. You realize you're going back, right? Chapman asks her. She gets mad. I'll fight you every step of the way. I'll go kicking and screaming. Yeah, we'll see about that, Mouse says, and keeps her word by getting my double her Coke. She has to crack it and hold it for her to drink since we won't be untying her. People say I'm obsessed with sodas, but the other me, whoa, Mouse ends up giving her 2 Cokes. Better enjoy it, 'cause I'm sure there ain't no Coke where you're going back to. Mirror Ariel growls. I hate you, you little squeaker. I point at her. Nope, nobody says they hate Mouse except me, and me only. Don't care if you are supposed to be me. Carter gives me a strange look now. You sure know how to be a princess, princess. And don't you forget it, I return. Then I raise my own Coke can to Carter. Cheers.
I like it spooky. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
That night, the 5 of us returned to the Carnovasch Estate with our prisoner. Mouse's parents are parked just outside until we need them. Let's be honest, you know how many times I've found myself envying Mouse? She's not as rich as my family, but she's got way more than I've got right now. Looking at my parents and then Mouse's, I definitely want her parents. Getting back to now, we're moving the other me to the back door of the Carnovasch Estate. You really think those other mirrored versions of us are going to come back here? I ask Mouse. She shrugs. I just got thinking how we're always hanging out. If these versions of us are the same as us in most every way, maybe they're like us and being there for each other too. I mean, this other you's got you soda craving, right? I look at the half-drunk Coke that Mouse gave me before we left. Oh, I hate you, Mouse. Then she snickers. The next thing we know, Mouse digs into her jacket and pulls out another Coke. I'm ready to snatch it up, but she scurries away from me. Nope, this one ain't for you, Ariel. She looks to the other me, who's still tied up. This one's for your twin. The other me looks desperate for that unopened can. The others are going to turn on me when they learn I helped you. She bites her lower lip and groans. I want that Coke. It's yours, Mouse promises her. All you gotta do is call for help. See, I'm betting your friends are around here someplace. Either they're coming to rescue you or they're wanting to get us. So now that we're back here where all this started, it'll be 2 birds, 1 stone, right? So go ahead and call them. Soon as they show up, I'll let you have this delicious, icy cold, sweet, refreshing. The other me suddenly yells for help. Chapman leans in and says to Mouse, "This really is a crazy plan, Maddie. You sure it'll work?" Mouse is optimistic. "Yeah, I'm thinking so." Chapman sighs and shakes his head a little. "Okay." Ever since Horton, Chapman, and Chunker became a part of our circle, Chapman always seems to have trouble understanding Mouse. But I think he finds her interesting. The other me keeps calling for her friends. As soon as we're outside the door where those magic tricks and that mirror that caused all this trouble is, Mouse looks inside the room. Yup, the mirror's still here. "Do we dare go near it again?" Horton asks. "I know what you're thinking, buddy," Mouse replies. "But I got a hunch." Mouse walks up to the mirror. Again, she doesn't cast a reflection. But then again, neither does Horton when he stands next to her. I go and stand on the other side of Mouse. I don't have a reflection either. I look over my shoulder and see the other me. I can see the reflection of the room itself, but nothing of us. "Was that your hunch, Mouse?" I ask. "Yup," she replies. "Now we just gotta wait till that other April's friends show up." "We're already here," someone calls out. Suddenly, Mirror Chapman slams the door to the room. We never thought to look behind the open door. The other Horton and Carter come out from their hiding places too. It's then when the mirror starts glowing red. Horton said how it only had a slight tinge of red when we all looked into it yesterday, but now it's really glowing crimson. "About time you guys found me," the other me says after their Carter unties her. The 4 of them are coming at us now. "Time for you guys to take our places in the mirror realm," their Chapman jeers. "Don't worry, you'll get used to it after a while. We had our whole lives." When their eyes start glowing as bright as the mirror, we know we're in trouble, but we're not going into that mirror so fast. "You want to take our places? You're going to have to fight us for it," I tell our doubles. Then I look at my double. "Don't forget, honey, Mouse here still has your Coke." She looks desperate now as she moves toward Mouse. "Give it to me!" Through my peripheral vision, I can see something coming out of the mirror. I gasp when this big glowing hand wraps around my waist. "Guys!" I yell fast. "Help me!" Perspective, Madeline Donnerly. "Oh man, seriously, how come plans never go the way you want them to? I wasn't expecting this. Guess it just goes to show you. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Anyway, I know I gotta bring Mary Worth back. Only thing is everybody'll see me, but..." Suddenly the door bursts open. My parents are here now. Guess they must have saw the glow coming from the window and knew we were in trouble. Mirror Chapman sees my parents and sneers at us. "Really? You gotta call Mommy and Daddy when you're in trouble? What wimps!" Mom points at him. "It's got nothing to do with that and you know it. We're parents. We're supposed to be here for our children when they need us." Then the Mirror Horton's looking at my parents in a weird way. "What's with the Christmas costumes?" "Yup. Dad's wearing a Santa Claus suit and has a big red bag over his shoulder. Mom's dressed up like one of Santa's elves." "Who wants presents?" Mom asks the mirrored doubles cheerfully. "Presents?" the other Chapman groans. "What's the joke here?" "No joke, son," Dad says in a deep Santa voice. "Don't you have Christmas where you come from?" Then Dad puts the sack down and opens it to reveal lots of presents. Now our doubles look stunned, except the Ariel one who wants the pop I'm still holding. Now she's pointing right at me. "I want that Coke, you little mouse." I point to Dad. "But Santa's got presents for you, Ariel. Don't you guys want presents for Christmas?" Now she looks confused. Guys! Our Ariel shrieks. A little help here? Think, Mouse, think. Ah, I got it! I draw back to throw the can. Let our Ariel go, and you get the can. No, 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 absolutely not! Mirror Ariel refuses. You're all going into the mirror so we can live in the mortal realm. We'll finally get to have a real Christmas. This isn't negotiable. Then I hold the can up and put my fingernail under the pop tab. Okay, I guess I'm gonna drink your pop. Mirror Ariel really looks desperate now. Stop! The big glowing red hand lets go of our Ariel and goes back into the mirror. Okay, you got what you wanted, you little squeaker, Mirror Ariel snaps. Now give me the pop. I toss it to her. It's yours. She catches it, almost dropping it. Then she opens it and groans as she drinks it down. The other mirror versions of us are still wondering what to make of Dad. Then he starts handing out presents to them. It don't take 'em long to know what to do with them. They open the presents just like they did at the houses they wrecked, only this time they don't destroy the presents. Dad even gives Mirror Ariel some. She looks surprised before she opens them. Since they're distracted, I creep to the door and slip out. I move into the next room down and pull out my compact. Merryworth, Merryworth, Merryworth! For the second time today, my ghostly friend comes out of the mirror realm and possesses me. I shall put an end to this, Madeline, she tells me. Mary floats right through the wall and appears in the room. The mirror versions are screaming like they did at my house. They're ready to drop their presents and run, but Mary makes the door slam shut and lock behind them. Mirror Ariel turns to her. Don't kill us! We just wanted to live in the mortal realm. We just wanted to experience Christmas. It's not fair. You misunderstand. I am not here to kill any of you. You know that you cannot remain here. You must return to the mirror realm, or you will indeed cease to exist. The others look sad now. Our Ariel's right. We just wanted to live in the mortal realm and experience Christmas. Mirror Chapman groans. How come you get to be here? I am an astral projection, while you children are the reflections of your mortal counterparts, Mary explains. I'm afraid we are not the same, so the laws that govern you do not govern me. You know, I kind of feel sorry for him now. Yeah, they caused a lot of trouble, but they never really hurt nobody. As if Mary heard my thoughts, she tells the mirrored kids, the rules dictate that you may remain in the mortal realm for 48 hours from the time you leave the mirror realm. You have one more day, then you must return until next month. The mirror doubles talk among themselves. They come out of their huddle. I guess we really never knew how this worked, Mirror Chapman tells Mary. If we can come back during certain times, that's good enough for us. Then Mirror Horton tells us, we live in the mirror realm, but we don't get to enjoy the same things mortals do, especially Christmas. We just wanted to live as mortals instead of just being your reflections all the time. You do understand that you have caused much trouble for your mortal counterparts, Mary reminds them. We can fix all that, Mirror Carter says. We still got a day to be here yet, so we can make everything right again. Then our Carter points at him. That would be just great. If you can fix everything, then we'll call it even. And you even get to keep your Christmas gifts, Dad says, still playing as Santa. Can we get some more Coke before we leave? Mirror Ariel asks. I think that can be arranged, Mom replies. Mirror Ariel turns to the others. Let's make everything right again. Mary took care of everything at my house earlier, but I'm wondering how exactly our doubles will fix up everything they wrecked at the others' houses.
The only thing scarier than that is not being subscribed. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Epilogue, Wednesday, December 19th. Perspective, Richie Horton. Our doppelgangers went back into the mirror at the Carnovasch Estate and headed back home. They even took their Christmas presents back with them. Now we're all hanging out here at Roth's Rings. Well, us kids are here. Maddie's parents went home after they dropped us off. Maddie and Carter just finished playing the new Gran Turismo game. Ariel's got little Stuart up at the counter. Looks like she ordered him a slice of pie and a Coke. My eyes go wide when Stuart picks up the items and throws them at her. The pop hits Ariel and just explodes all over. This is not going to end good. Ariel takes a deep breath and is dripping pop down her face and jacket. Then she grabs Stuart's shoulders. "What is your problem, you little goober?" Then I see Carter just recorded the whole thing on his smartphone. Maddie's trying to tell him not to do something, but then I get a Facebook notification on my phone. I tap it to see the new video Carter posted called "Little Stuart Treats Princess Ariel to a Coke." Then Stuart kicks Ariel on her shin. That's when Maddie comes over and helps Ariel out. Stuart turns to her and is happy she's around. I don't know what Maddie does that makes Stuart like her so much. Maddie lowers herself to talk to him. He seems to be listening to Maddie because when Ariel buys him another Coke, he doesn't throw it at her. Then I'm seeing all the emojis people are posting on Carter's latest video, many of which are laughing ones. I'm thinking Carter did this because Ariel stole his soda when we were in the cafeteria for lunch. Sometimes they got along super well, and other times they're at each other's throats. I'm guessing she'll be hot after Carter once she sees this video. I suppose you're wondering what happened to our doubles. Well, they were true to their word and fixed everything. Don't ask me how, but they did it. I mean, they didn't just super glue everything back together. It was like everything those guys did never even happened. Even the presents were fully restored. When Mom talked to me about it, she chalked it up to being majorly stressed out. She even apologized to me repeatedly for coming after me the way she did. You should have seen Chapman's dad. Remember how he was chasing after Chapman and me before Carter and Maddie came to save us? Chapman's dad apologized too, but Chapman said he overheard him wondering if aliens might have invaded his house. Carter's parents never said anything to him about what was wrecked there. Even so, Maddie's parents vouched for him. When we get to Ariel, she was allowed back home again, like we heard on Maddie's phone during that video chat. Ariel wasn't off the hook, though. Her mom told her that while she was glad the rooms were as they were again, she wasn't going to trust Ariel anytime soon. I think Ariel looked a little hurt over it, but she sounded like she expected that from her own mom. Also, true to her mom's word, Ariel's got Stuart with her. I know Ariel's trying to do the right thing with Stuart. Maybe he's just mischievous at heart, or he really doesn't want to be around Ariel. Who knows? Good thing Maddie's there to defuse him. Oh, we ended up telling Chunker, Mona, and Bailey about what happened. We knew they'd believe us. Why wouldn't they? After all we went through in the last few months, right? In fact, it's a few days later when it's us guys in the cafeteria. Mona and Bailey come in to talk to us. It's not long after that when Ariel finally sees the video Carter posted from Wednesday and tried to get to him. Unfortunately for her, Principal Benjamin Van Diest came in and sent Ariel and Carter both back to class. When it's just Mona and Bailey and the three of us, Bailey tells us that she and Mona are going to Pendleton this weekend to work at the Home Sweet Home Orphanage for a Christmas celebration, and Madeline Donnerly's going to drive them there. After some talk, Chapman convinces Bailey to let the three of us tag along. When that's all settled, we just have to get through the rest of the day. I think this will be a good spot for us to say goodbye for now. Don't worry, we'll be back for some more scary happenings. This is Strickfield, Ohio, after all. Oh, and especially since December isn't over yet. Merry Christmas. Well, my spookies, I hope that gave you some good holiday cheer and a bit of holiday fear. I always love when we get to go back to Strickfield and see what's up with those crazy and kooky kids. It's such a nice break from all the murder, blood, and raunchy fun that often also occurs in the little town of Strickfield. And a big thank you to Rob Fields for writing tonight's story and 100 other episodes of Weekly Spooky. It's an incredible feat. Rob is sincerely one of the most tenaciously creative writers I've ever met. And I'm so proud that Weekly Spooky is his creative home. And I'm also proud to call him my friend. If you're new to the show and you haven't listened to other holiday seasons, I get pretty touchy-feely and a bit nostalgic at times, so bear with me, my friends. But there is so much more coming. We'll have a brand new story for you this Monday and Wednesday. We have a brand new compilation next week as well, and on Friday, yet another scary story. And hey, there just might be another novella coming real soon. And real quick, I want to say an extra special thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who went to weeklyspooky.com/join and not only support us monthly, but pay just a little bit more to hear their names at the end of the show. And they are Jessica Fuller, Johnny Nix, Jenny Green, Amber Hansford, Brent McCullough, Karen Wiemet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. Thank you all so much. And if you want to join them over at Patreon, just go to weeklyspooky.com/join. You can join up for as little as $1 a month and get 2 bonus shows every single month for your trouble. And we really, sincerely appreciate it. But now I have to get back to work. There's so much more to do before the holidays are through. So, for myself, for my executive producers, Rob Fields, Mark Shields, and Bobbletopia.com, my producer, Dan Wilder, and my composer, Ray Mattis, I'll catch you in the mirror.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to find your way back next week. But for now, you are safe. Trust me.